Last year, I made a my net worth video at 28, and you guys seem to like it, so I figured I would do an update for you. It's been about 8 months, and I'm gonna keep the same format as last time, so I'm gonna go from smallest to largest account, and then I'm gonna give the total at the very end. Now, before we get into it, take 2 seconds, hit like and subscribe. It really helps push this video out to more people, but let's go. Starting with my son's UTMA account, which has $515 in it currently. Now, I opened this up for him right when he was born, and I'm just putting money into a couple pretty basic index funds. So he has VOO, which is the S&P 500. He has SCHG for a little bit of growth, and then VTI for, some more exposure to the total stock market, buying a ton of companies in America, basically. I currently put $50 a month into this, and I just keep that recurring. I think I'm going to do it pretty much until he's 18 or 21, so that he has something like, I don't know, $20,000 or $30,000 by the time he graduates, and then, maybe mid-college he can do something with it. But that's the goal for that one. I'm not going to add it to the total, but I think it's important to mention if you're a parent out there and you don't know that you can have this option for your kid and invest for them, maybe check it out if it's worth it. The next account is our HSA, our health savings account. This has $2,044 in it currently. We just started contributing to this year. We just opened it up in January, and I'm putting a total of $4,000 into this. And we're just keeping this very simple with some index funds spread out across a bunch of different sectors and industries. The account itself doesn't really give us a whole lot of options, so I'm doing the best I can to diversify within that. But really the goal is just to put money away, get the match from my employer so that I can have some money for health stuff when I'm a lot older. That's really the main reason for this. And it's one of my favorite accounts because it's kind of like a secret retirement account that people don't know about, because it's triple tax advantaged, and you can put up to, I believe it's $8,550 this year for a married couple right now. And you put it in there tax-free, it grows tax-free, and then you can use it for medical expenses tax-free. So this one's really cool, and I'm super happy that we were able to get access to it from my employer and that we have this now under our belt. We also have my wife's Roth IRA, which has $4,139 in it. We're keeping this one very, very simple because she's not really investing minded and she doesn't really care to look at all this stuff. So mainly I do it for her, but I just have her in QQQ for some technology exposure, and then the rest of it in VTI. In fact, most of it is in VTI because, again, I want exposure for every single company pretty much in the US, and I just want that thing to grow very, very steadily over time. So that's why I chose those two. And she started contributing to this, I think, 2 years ago. She puts $100 every paycheck, so she's not maxing it out right now. I'm sure we'll get there eventually, but at least it's putting something in there for now so that it can slowly grow over time. And then maybe later we'll max it out. Next up is one of our vehicles. So we've changed vehicles a little bit in the past 8 months. We now have a Toyota Prius that's worth about $6,500. It's a 2012. It has, I think, 134,000 miles on it. We just bought it off of my parents because they were getting a new car. And so we decided we're going to sell our old car that had, I think, 240,000 miles on it, trade it in for this Prius that has basically 100K less. And ideally, this car lasts us for another decade or so. And it's kind of nice that it's cheap on gas, even though it's a Prius. After that, I have my Roth IRA, which has $19,305 in it. Similar to my wife's Roth IRA, I opened this up like two and a half years ago. I'm maxing mine out every single month with $583. And so I split that up between, 2 paychecks a month. I'm playing around a little bit with some more active investing in this account, not anything crazy. So most of my holdings are in Berkshire Hathaway, which is obviously one of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett. He's led this whole charge. I feel okay with my money sitting in there. I also have an India ETF, INQQ. This one I think is far more of a long-term investment for me. So I'm thinking 20, 30 years down the line, India's GDP and their economy is going to continue to grow very rapidly. And so that's kind of more of a long-term bet, but it's still not a ton of money just in general. So I'm not like gambling all my money on a single country. And then I have SCHD for some dividend and income funds, and then a couple other things in there. But generally speaking, it's broad index funds because I'm not trying to be some crazy stock picker. After that, we have our Toyota RAV4. This is a 2018, and we bought this early last year. So we've had it almost like a year and a half. Everything I've looked up online says that a 2018 used Toyota RAV4 goes for about $23,000 to $27,000. I think I've seen some of them. I'm going to go on the conservative end and just say $22,000 because we bought it for $25,000, again, a year and a half ago, and we haven't put a whole lot of mileage on it right now. After that is my taxable brokerage account. This is a trading account that I have that I've been saving up for and adding money to for the past pretty much 5 years. It has $40,244 in it. Most of that is invested in QQQ and Celsius, the energy drink company. This is pretty much my only true effort at stock picking, at looking through the financials, understanding the company, reading about the CEOs, understanding the drink market as a whole. And so I spent a lot of time researching this company. We'll see if they do well or not. But either way, that's what most of that money is in right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with this account. I've done some option trading in the past with it, mainly selling options, selling weekly options, which gets some income. And then, I've made a couple big mistakes along the way, which I'll probably make a video on that as well. But this money has just been sitting in there for a couple years now, and I'm more than likely going to move it somewhere else, but I just haven't decided what to do with it yet. So if you have any good ideas, let me know below what you think I should do with that money. After that, we have my wife's 401k at $42,917. Most of this is in the S&P 500. I think 15% of it is in an aggressive growth fund, and then a very small percentage is in international. The reason that we have so much in our 401ks, and I'll get to mine in a second too, is that we have like an insane employer match. If we put in 6%, our employer matches 4%, so we get a total of 10. And then just for fun, they add an additional 6%. So we put in 6, they put in 10 basically, which is an insane return on your money just by itself. But we've recently bumped all of those up. So I think she's putting something like 20% total. So I think she's putting 10. The employer matches 10. And then I think mine is a little bit more than that. But that's where hers is at right now. These are our 401ks are easily our biggest accounts, and we're really taking advantage of that while we both have active incomes at this job. Following that up is our high yield savings account with Wealthfront. We have $50,112 in this thing. We've been building up that money for pretty much since we got married in 2020. And the first couple of years, it wasn't really making much money, but then once interest rates rose, we started to get a lot more money for the savings amount that was sitting in there. Pretty much over the past 3 or 4 years, it's netted us like $5,200 just for money sitting in there. It's completely liquid, so we can access it anytime we want and use that money. But that's pretty much where our emergency fund sits. And then, if we want to save up for a vacation or something, we put money in there so that it can grow. It basically gives us right now, I think like $190 per month on interest alone for doing nothing. It's the most passive income that we could possibly get. If you're interested, I will leave my referral link to Wealthfront. All that does is bump up your interest rate to 4.5% for 3 months, and then mine to 4.5% for 3 months. If you don't want to do that, totally fine. You could just go to their website or wherever other company that you want. But the main point is that move it to a high yield savings account. You're going to thank me later. After that is our home equity. This one I messed up in the last video, so you can check that out, and people roasted me in the comments for it. But we have $75,710 in our home equity right now. So Zillow estimates it at $332,800 roughly. I don't know how accurate Zillow estimate is. I have another software that sends me updates that's wildly different from Zillow, but Zillow's the more conservative one, so I'm just going to stick with that one. And then for our mortgage, we owe $257,089 left. This one, I think our mortgage is like $2,300 a month, and then I'm adding a little bit extra. I pretty much moved it up to $2,500 a month. The goal is to get a 13th payment throughout the year. I may dial that back in a little bit, but that's what we're doing for now, just to pay it off a little bit faster and pay less interest overall. I think that brought us, adding that extra amount brought us from a 30-year mortgage to a 23-year mortgage. So it shaves off 7 years of payments if you add just a little bit of money each time, depending on your mortgage too. But that's what we're doing with that one. And the final account is my 401k, and this has $126,461 in it. I have kept this pretty much the same since 2020 when I got my job as a data analyst. Most of it is in a very aggressive growth fund, and then the rest of it is in an S&P 500 fund. As of a couple weeks ago, I did shift those percentages a little bit to add 10% international, because I don't think the US can grow forever, and I'm learning more about global diversification. And so I wanted to get a little bit of exposure there, but the bulk of my portfolio is in growth because I'm young and I have a lot of time. I'm okay with market volatility and, things dipping a little bit. And so that's why it's structured that way. And like I mentioned, my wife is doing a total of 20% of her income into her 401k. I think I'm doing 25% of mine right now. We may switch that up eventually because we don't need to be loading that much money into our retirement accounts. But for now, I'm more than okay being very, very aggressive and building up wealth quickly while we're young. And then it can kind of snowball, for the rest of our lives, basically. So anyway, the grand total for our net worth right now, as of 2025, is $395,916, which is just absolutely insane to me. I'm incredibly grateful for the 2 jobs that we've gotten and worked at for the past, 5-6 years. I'm also very grateful that the market has done pretty well since we started this whole thing in 2020. And so it's not like we're being incredibly smart and we're like these brilliant investors. Really, it's just, basic, simple habits done over a long period of time and done consistently, which is very boring advice, but it freaking works and it's crazy to see. So that's where we're at right now. And if you want to see where we were last year, how much it's grown since then, I'm going to do the YouTube thing where I don't tell you so that you go click on the video. Check out the My Net Worth video at 28, and I'll see you there. Peace.